What's up, everyone? I'm Coach D. So I'm sitting in for my guy, Tennessee Brando, who's a little under the weather right now. And listen up, man. We all hope you get well soon because we really need your knowledge during this political climate. So as a father of 2 daughters, can I just say that watching Kamala Harris speak to a crowd in Ripon, Wisconsin today, watching Liz Cheney stand behind her and then speak as well, and listening to them both talk about uniting the parties, uniting the country, finding common ground, respecting the Constitution, respecting the rule of law. Can I just say that I was in my feelings? I was absolutely in my feelings watching that rally today, because my daughters and my wife are the most important people in my life right now. And when I tell you the amount of admiration I look at my daughters with, I think if you have children, you know, whether they are biological children, stepchildren, hell, I think if you were an educator, if you work with people in any type of way, I think you understand where I'm coming from. I mean, let me brag for a second. Both of my daughters are in college. One just graduated with her bachelor's. She's in her second year of her master's. She went to college on a track and field scholarship. My younger daughter, who's 19, is in college on a track and field scholarship. Both of them are just killing it in life. So I love them with all of my heart. And I got in my feelings today because I know that my daughters are going to succeed in life. They've done a lot of good things. But I also do feel like seeing someone like Kamala Harris, Liz Cheney, command a room of people who look at them with admiration, I just know that it feels to me like having, you know, Kamala Harris, Tim Walz, Liz Cheney, other people who have joined this coalition of people who normally would not support a Democratic candidate. Having that happen, being able to witness that, makes me feel like my daughters are in good hands. I was in my feelings because watching her speak, command that room, watching her talk about the things that she talked about, just made me feel like, gosh dang, you know, things are going in the right direction. You know, there was a time when Michelle Obama said that she was finally feeling proud of her country when Barack Obama became president, because she felt like we had broken some glass ceilings. I'm voting for Kamala Harris because she is a better candidate. I'm voting for her because I believe her ideas to make this country better are way better than the ideas coming from Donald Trump and J.D. Vance. But can I tell you that it is a bonus that she is a woman who I think and I wholeheartedly believe my daughters should look up to. She is a mixed race woman, which my daughters are as well. She's an educated woman, which my daughters are as well. She's a woman who believes in empowering herself and empowering other people. So listening to her speak, again, put me in my feelings. And so there are a couple of clips that I want you guys to watch, because one of them is her talking about Donald Trump not respecting the peaceful transfer of power. Donald Trump not respecting the rule of law. And I just did a video earlier today for Brando's page where someone was trying to rewrite history about what happened on January 6th. Well, this video is Kamala Harris actually talking about the actual history, the real history, not trying to rewrite history on what happened that day, but talking about what actually happened on that day. Check it out.
And as you have heard and know, he refused to accept the will of the people and the results of an election that was free and fair. As you have heard, he sent an armed mob to the United States Capitol, where they assaulted law enforcement officers. He threatened the life of his own vice president and refused to engage in the peaceful transfer of power. And let us be clear about how he intends to use power if elected again. He has called for jailing journalists, political opponents, anyone he sees and deems as being an enemy. He has pledged to destroy the independence of the Department of Justice. And he called for deploying our active duty military against our own citizens. Well, I believe you and my running mates both. Well, listen, I believe that anyone who recklessly tramples on our democratic values as Donald Trump has, anyone who has actively and violently obstructed the will of the people and the peaceful transfer of power, as Donald Trump has, anyone who has called for, I quote, termination of the Constitution of the United States, as Donald Trump has, must never again stand behind the seal of the President of the United States.
There were absolutely no lies there. Not one lie was told. Donald Trump sent an angry mob to the Capitol to do horrible things. And they did those things. And not only did they do them, but now that they're sitting in prison for doing them, Donald Trump is saying that he is going to pardon them if he becomes president again. He has also said, like Kamala Harris said, that he would jail people who didn't agree with MAGAs. He is basically saying that if you are not a MAGA, you have no place in his administration, in this country. He wants to fire people. He wants to fire people who are in positions of just, doing different type of office work if they're not a MAGA. He's not talking about people in his cabinet. He's not talking about having you vote out politicians who aren't Republicans. He's saying we should fire people who are not MAGAs. This is not someone we should be supporting to be president of the United States of America. But now I want to get to Liz Cheney, because you got to understand, go back and look at some of Liz Cheney's policies. They are nowhere near what Kamala Harris believes. She is much closer to Donald Trump ideologically than you would actually think. But she has said, I am willing to put those things aside to support the candidate who I think has character, who I think is an adult, who I think is actually going to fight for every single American. What Liz Cheney has said is that she knows that she and Kamala Harris are going to have some disagreements. She knows they're going to have arguments. But she also knows that Kamala Harris's heart is in the right place. She wants to help Americans. And so Liz Cheney really sums it up for me, because what she did here is talked about the importance of Kamala Harris's presidency, but she also wrapped it up in saying that we should be proud that she's a woman. We should be proud that little girls are going to look at her and say, you know what? I can do that too. Look at Kamala Harris's resume. She did it all on her own. She did it all. I shouldn't say on her own, because obviously no one does it on their own, but she did so much for herself to get to where she is today. And I'm sorry, but, and actually, I'm not sorry. I'm saying this with my whole chest. My daughters look up to her, and I think that's a great thing. And I think what Liz Cheney says here just wraps it all up for me. Check it out.
I know that President Harris will be able to unite this nation. I know that she will be a president who will defend the rule of law. And I know that she will be a president who can inspire all of our children, and if I might say so, especially our little girls. To do great things. So help us right the ship of our democracy so that history will say of us, when our time of testing came, we did our duty and we prevailed because we loved our country more.
Inspire our little girls to do great things, and we will prevail because we love our country more. Hey, if you like my content, go on over to my page at CoachD_speaks and subscribe. I really do appreciate you guys. Period.